Okay, picture one of the most high-stakes, absolutely heart-stopping matches in recent sports history. Today, in this explainer, we are breaking down the 2026 World Cup's most shocking thriller, a game where the reigning champions were pushed to the absolute brink by a team that honestly defied every single expectation placed on them. This is the unforgettable story of the Blue Sharks and the King and Argentina's impossibly narrow escape.
Now, to really grasp what happened out on that pitch in Miami, we have to look at the sheer, mind-boggling scale of this mismatch. On one side, you've got Argentina, right? World number one, defending champions, and oh yeah, they're fielding Lionel Messi, literally the greatest scorer in World Cup history. Then on the other side, you have Cape Verde, a tiny island nation with a population of just 500,000 people. To put that into perspective, that is roughly the size of a single neighborhood in Buenos Aires. Plus, they were making their absolute debut at the World Cup. Literally, the entire globe expected a routine, walk-in-the-park win for the champions. But what we got instead? An unimaginable David versus Goliath story, unfolding right before our eyes.
Section 1. The Unlikely Contenders. Validating the Underdog.
So, before the absolute chaos of this specific match even kicked off, you need to know that Cape Verde wasn't just surviving the tournament. No, they were putting on a defensive masterclass. In their group stage, they managed to draw with Spain, Uruguay, and Saudi Arabia. Staggeringly, they conceded only 2 goals in that entire group stage. I mean, mathematically speaking, that is fewer goals allowed than absolute powerhouses like Brazil, France, and England. Their backline proved without a shadow of a doubt that they belonged among the global elite.
And to really drive that point home, Cape Verde stood completely alone as the sole debuting nation to actually survive the group stages. Think about it. Other debutantes, Curacao, Jordan, Uzbekistan, they were all sent packing early. So Cape Verde's unique resilience on the world stage, it was already the stuff of legend before they even lined up against Argentina. They were battle-tested, and as we were about to see, they absolutely refused to be intimidated.
Section 2. Trading Blows. 90 Minutes of Chaos.
The number 20. So, we hit the 29th minute, and the heavy, crushing weight of history finally comes down on the island nation. Lionel Messi breaks the deadlock. He controls this pinpoint beautiful pass from Lisandro Martinez and just lifts the ball perfectly over an on-rushing goalkeeper. And this wasn't just an opening goal, by the way. This was Messi's record-extending 20th career World Cup goal, and his 7th of this tournament alone. At this exact moment, I guarantee you, everyone watching thought, yep, the floodgates are officially about to open.
But then the 59th minute hits, and we get the ultimate emotional whiplash. Because Cape Verde simply refused to fold. Ryan Mendes finds Deroy Duarte, who brilliantly turns and fires the ball right inside the far post. Bam! 1-1. This was Duarte's first ever international goal, and it completely leveled the match. And that massively pro-Argentina crowd in Miami, stunned. Just absolute, utter silence. The impossible was actually happening.
8. That is the number of stunning match saves made by Vozinha. Who is Vozinha, you ask? Oh, just Cape Verde's 40-year-old goalkeeper who plays in Portugal's second division. Throughout the entire match, as Argentina is just furiously pushing to retake the lead, Vozinha became a literal brick wall. He even denied Messi in a one-on-one situation with a jaw-dropping stop. Thanks to his absolute heroics, those 90 minutes somehow ended in a 1-1 deadlock.
Section 3. Extra Time Chaos, Heartbreak, and History. Now we're in extra time. Right? This exhausting 120-minute roller coaster just perfectly captures the wild back-and-forth energy of this match. So regular time ends 1-1. We get to the 92nd minute, and Lisandro Martinez absolutely rifles one in from close range. 2-1 Argentina. The champions thought, okay, phew, we finally broke through. But hold on, because then comes the 103rd minute, followed closely by a tragic climax at the 111th. Let's talk about that 103rd minute, the goal of the tournament. Sidney Lopez Cabral cuts inside the box from the left side and curls a spectacularly placed finish right into the top corner of the net. 2-2, again, in extra time, against Argentina. I mean, it was a moment of sheer awe that brought Cape Verde level for a second time, sending the entire watching world into absolute disbelief. The Argentine players, the fans in the stands, the broadcasters, everyone was just stunned. Nothing about Cape Verde's run was supposed to happen, yet here they were, just trading heavy blows with absolute giants.
Section 4. The Cruel Clock, Running Out of Time.
For 8 agonizing, terrifying minutes after that second equalizer, Cape Verde held on for dear life. Argentina was throwing absolutely everything they had at them. And then, the 111th minute arrived with this painfully chaotic sequence. It starts with a dangerously whipped-in corner delivery from Messi. That's met by a really powerful header from Christian Romero right into the danger zone. And finally, a tragic deflection off Cape Verde's Dine Borges. An own goal. The deadlock was broken without an Argentine player even applying the finishing touch. Actually, think about how heartbreaking that is. Not a Messi wonder goal, not a Lautaro Martinez finish. An own goal in the 111th minute is what finally pierced the armor of the Blue Sharks.
And I think the crucial point here is captured perfectly by former Scotland striker and broadcaster Ali McCoist. He called it an absolutely immense game of football, right? But then he noted that Cape Verde showed far, far more than spirit. And he hit the nail on the head. They showed immense tactical discipline. They showed world-class skill. They showed an unbreakable will. This wasn't just some plucky, feel-good underdog story. No, this was a 67th ranked island nation stepping up, going toe-to-toe with footballing gods, and absolutely proving they deserve to share the same pitch.
Now, of course, the tournament moved on. Argentina advanced to the round of 16 to face Egypt in Atlanta. But the magnitude of respect that Cape Verde earned that night, it literally cannot be overstated. Even Lionel Messi, the guy who scored the opener and whipped in the corner for the winner, heaped genuine, unprompted praise on Cape Verde's performance right after the final whistle. The greatest player who ever lived was visibly humbled by a team from a tiny island nation that just simply refused to quit.
Which really brings us to the core takeaway of this whole explainer. Think about what we just covered. A nation of 500,000 people. 2 equalizers against the reigning world champions. The undeniable goal of the tournament. And an own goal in the 11th minute being the literally only thing separating them from a penalty shootout. When you look at the heart, the tactical brilliance, and the sheer grit of the Blue Sharks, you are left with one enduring thought that cements their legacy forever. They didn't really lose. They simply ran out of time. And it kind of forces us to ask, after witnessing the absolute limit of human grit on that pitch in Miami, have we fundamentally underestimated what a nation of 500,000 can achieve in the modern era of football? Well, something to chew on. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep that curiosity alive.